To those of you who didn't hear the news, Nintendo dropped a random update to Mario Kart World this evening that seemed to do one thing and one thing only: address what they saw to be a problem. But this problem requires context. There's been a lot of discussion about connector tracks these last 3 weeks. Everyone knows what they are at this point, as they are the gimmick of the game in some senses, but it has been apparent that many people have preferred playing the traditional 3-lap tracks in the game instead. In online races, track selections have consisted mainly of connector tracks, with the occasional 3-lap course added in as well, and there's also the option to pick random. Initially, it was found that picking random always resulted in a traditional 3-lap track being picked. And I think at first, this was probably a deliberate decision, but in seemingly every online lobby I played, everyone started spam picking random to guarantee that a traditional track would be picked. And I was one of those players, and so were many others, regardless of what type of Mario Kart fan they were. Nintendo has now patched this out, so random selects these transition courses now. And this was one of the more pathetic and tone-deaf updates I think I've really ever seen in a video game. The intention is obvious, they just didn't really like how people were playing their game. Now, I want to give a small disclaimer. Nintendo, I like you guys. I genuinely root for your success. I've met so many of my friends playing your games over the decades, and it's something that has brought us together. I have an interest in more people wanting to play your games for that very reason, and Mario Kart World has brought back many old faces to servers that they've been inactive in for years just due to life obligations. This is all because the new wave with Mario Kart World is exciting and worth everyone's time, and I think this is ultimately what your game set out to do. So I think it should be said firmly when your own decisions really kind of have the opposite effect. Now, this game has been really fun up to this point. It has great innovations that have kept me busy for weeks. It has been so hard for me to leave some of the worldwide sessions up to this point. I've been able to play with more friends than ever before in them, and the changes to the VR system makes it kind of feel skill-based, and it really makes me want to go after certain thresholds. And there's a lot more stuff I want to talk about and even gush about, to the point that I've actually had trouble putting the game down to even start scripting the videos I want to make. The traditional tracks in this game have more than delivered, and there are many changes to the item system that I even really like as well. I understand that things have not been perfect, but it has been very good. The game clearly builds off the strengths of the past ones, and racing online has been really fun as a result. But when it comes to worldwide races, that's just not really going to happen anymore. Because simply put, I don't find the connector tracks to be all that fun, and I know I'm not alone. This should not have been the change. The change should have been adding the option to play and pick only standard tracks if anything. You had custom worldwides in Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, and they were cool. I don't know why they were removed, and I understand that they were less active, especially after time passed, but it was never a bad option to have. You could still join one and reliably play some friends on custom settings. And Knockout Tour is not exactly active past a certain VR threshold online either, but I would say that it too would also be a waste to remove for that reason, so why get rid of custom worldwides? What you should be adding in these updates are missing features and actual quality of life changes. You should be adding split times to the end of time trial runs. You should be adding flexibility options to turn off automatic item trailing, or customization for the quite frankly poorly thought out point system. You should be looking into game balancing. The red shell feels practically unreactable right now, and auto trail is not a foolproof solution to fixing that. And you should be fixing the boomerang item to make it work how it did in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, where players were not literally burdened by obtaining it. Maybe if custom items, a feature added to the last game, are returned, we could even consider removing it ourselves if you don't want to make any additional changes. Maybe you could even be adding P-switches to online free roam so people could actually 100% the game online with friends. There are just so many ways to innovate and build on this game in seemingly easy ways, and instead the update is only further limiting the options of the players. I've got to ask myself, was our purchase and support of the game not good enough for you? Is it truly that insulting for us to just enjoy the game how we want to enjoy it? Because here's my take. If you wanted more people to happily play these connector courses, instead of forcing it on them, maybe you should have just made the connector courses more fun and more engaging. Clearly you understand that you need to make good games if you want people to buy your games, so likewise, you need to make good modes if you want people to actually play those modes. Now, I can see the hard work that went into this game. Mechanics like the rail grinding and charge jumps work so well in races, but they also mesh so well with the open world aspect of the game too, and that's just awesome. But the reason why you're not going to hear people complaining about those mechanics is because they simply add to the experience instead of taking away something. Now, I anticipate that Nintendo is going to host some tournaments later in the year and force the contestants to play on the connector tracks. We're going to be happy that they're getting involved with this stuff either way, but when decisions like this are made, it kind of dampens the mood. It feels as if they have very little respect for their own players because, frankly, the intent behind this update, one that seemingly added nothing of actual value, feels borderline antagonistic. It takes away from the credibility that they actually just want to host events for caring players, and it makes me question if the intention is to just try to change how we play even further. But the thing is, you're never going to be able to stop players from playing the games they love in the ways that they want, at least without eventually getting to the point where people want to stop playing and even purchasing the game to begin with. We are not yet at that point, but it's still sad nonetheless, because many people out there are just wanting to play worldwide races and maybe just pick Toad's Factory or something, and they couldn't even do that in this game to begin with, but now it's very likely that they'll never even get to play their favorite 3-lap track in any given worldwide session they have. So here's the thing for the players. What can we do about this? Well, organized rooms are a thing. The Mario Kart World Lounge runs a traditional setup currently with 12 races, 12-player matchups with traditional courses. I think they're running some 24-player queues as well on occasion. So if racing on traditional tracks is something that interests you, I would recommend giving it a spin and looking it up. I'll provide a link in the description as well if that makes things easier. The best players in the world do race in the Lounge Discord server, but lower ranked players will mainly match up against lower ranked players as well, or similar competition at least after a few placement matches. Over the years I've been kind of outspoken about my criticism of the online Mario Kart lounges before on this channel, but the truth is that now it currently feels like this is the best option to play the game as a solo player. And I will say, the lounge has been open to criticism too, and it's improved itself based upon community feedback over the years in my opinion. Currently in this newer era, the track variety has been awesome from what I've played, and that was my biggest gripe about it in the Deluxe era. So while the news today is unfortunate, know that there are alternatives out there. I hope to maybe see some of you give the lounge a spin as well. So that's it for this quick little mini rant. I wasn't planning on uploading something for another week or so, or really tonight at all, but yeah, emergency episodes are sometimes necessary. But anyway, that's it. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you all next time.